Hi there, it's Kristen Cooper, your mortgage advisor. Just wanted to give some education around FHA condos, as I've been getting a lot more questions around this. So when you have a condo, it does, if you're using FHA financing, it does have to go through FHA approval. And we have to make sure that it's an approved FHA condo, which you can do at this website here, or you could just Google FHA condo approval lookup and it'll bring up that website. And then you put in the information for the HOA, you scroll all the way over to the right, you want to make sure that its current active status is approved. If it's not, then you can't use FHA financing unless you get a FHA approval. And so the same is true with a VA financing. With VA, you have to make sure that it's a VA approved condo. Conventional financing does not require a special lookup to see if the condo is approved. You just have to go through condo approval, which is like getting a HOA condo questionnaire. Big thing is just making sure there's no active litigation and things like that on conventional financing. Now, let's say that it's an FHA financing loan. You look it up, it's not approved, or you're looking at maybe getting a listing in a complex that's not FHA approved. What are our options? Now, the condo complex itself can get FHA approved, but it is kind of a process and they typically don't like going down that route. So let's say that you have a buyer that wants to put in an offer on a property, but it's not FHA approved. We can go through what's called a single unit or a spot FHA approval. So what that means is once the buyer is in contract, we can request from the HOA all the upfront documents, which is like their condo questionnaire, their budget, their balance sheet, master insurance policy, all of that. And then we submit that for review with FHA. So we make sure that it has the reserve requirements, and we go through this questionnaire that you can see here and make sure that it does match what the requirements are for an FHA condo single spot approval. So you can look through and see what these questions are to find out kind of what it is that's going to be the requirements in order for it to be eligible upfront. But let's say that we have all these questions, show that, yeah, it looks like we should be eligible. Then we get all the information, we submit it to FHA for approval through our lender that we go through. And I just talked with a rep for a couple of them, and they said that in California right now, it's going pretty quick for the FHA approvals. Could take 4 to 7 business days is what they're seeing typically, but there's no guarantee on turn time. So we would want to make sure that we're allowing for additional time to get the upfront approval, because we can't order the appraisal until we have an FHA case number assigned, and we can't get an FHA case number until we have the FHA condo spot approval. So we would want a longer escrow in order to make that work. So let's say that we get the information, all of the condo, we submit it to FHA and they approve it. So if they approve the single unit spot approval, what that means is just this specific unit for the buyer will be approved. FHA will allow the condo to be financed with FHA financing, and they issue what's called a case number, which is issued on every single FHA financing transaction that is required in order to move forward with the financing. So we get the FHA case number, it's assigned to that specific property, and then we can order the appraisal and move forward with the financing. So these are definitely something that is a niche area that we work in, that if you have a property and you think that, maybe it will pass for FHA, the biggest thing is make sure there's no active litigation, and then making sure that, they have enough on their balance sheet for what we call reserves, which is additional funds left in the account as sufficient assets for reserves. So if we think that it can qualify, then we can submit it with, put in an offer for the buyer, it gets accepted, then we can submit it for approval. So it doesn't mean that we don't have options when it comes to these. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So I just want to make sure that you are also on every single FHA condo. You need to, again, make sure you look at the FHA condo approval lookup and make sure that that HOA shows that it is actively approved before putting in an offer. And if it's not, we need to look and see if this is an option here. So if you have any questions, as always, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to look at specific scenarios for you and make sure you have all the information that you need so that you're able to help your clients in your business moving forward.